Get off my land right now. Officers, escort her out. I sold this ranch to my nephew. Lisa's piercing voice cut through the crisp morning air as 3 patrol cars parked just beyond my front gate. I stood on my porch, barefoot, clutching a mug of coffee, stunned. My ranch dog, Rusty, growled softly beside me, ears twitching. The officers advanced toward my yard, one with a hand hovering near his holster, as if I might bolt. Lisa, the HOA president from the neighboring subdivision, trailed them in a garish pink blazer, oversized sunglasses, and a smug grin that screamed victory. She's trespassing, Lisa shrieked, jabbing a finger at me. I have the deed. I sold it last week, and she refuses to leave. Arrest her for squatting. The lead officer, sporting a bushy mustache and reflective shades, called out, "Ma'am, step down. We need to talk." I stayed put. "This is my ranch," I said, voice steady. "My name's on the deed. Nobody's sold anything." He glanced at Lisa, then back at me. "She's got a signed document saying otherwise. If you don't cooperate, I'll cut him off," laughing in disbelief. "You're telling me you drove out here without verifying anything, just because Lisa says she sold my land?" Lisa strutted forward. "That's President Lisa to you, Emma. This ranch is a blight on our community. I took charge, found a buyer, and finalized the sale." "You did what?" I nearly choked on my coffee, hands trembling. "She's a menace," Lisa added, pointing like I was a fugitive. "Her loose cattle trampled my garden last week." Rusty barked, stepping between me and the approaching officers. One reached for his radio. "Ma'am, come peacefully," or a rumble interrupted him. Behind the house, a dozen pickup trucks roared up. My ranch hands piled out, led by my cousin Jake, a towering ex-Marine. "Problem here, Emma?" he asked, glaring at the cops. Lisa paled. She hadn't counted on backup. "Cliffhanger. What happens when my crew faces off with the police? Will the officers back down or double down? What's in Lisa's fake deed?" Let's backtrack. I wasn't always a rancher. A year ago, I was a city accountant, burned out. When my aunt died, I inherited this 60-acre ranch outside a small town, hoping for peace. Then I met Lisa. Her HOA community, a half-mile down the road, was a cookie-cutter enclave of manicured lawns and self-entitled residents. From day one, Lisa targeted me. My barn was too rustic, my chickens too loud, my flagpole too bold. She started with passive-aggressive notes in my mailbox about my tractor's dust or my roosters crowing. Then came petitions to rezone my land under HOA control. 3 weeks in, I caught her snooping near my barn with a realtor, sketching my property lines. "Can I help you?" I asked, sweaty from hauling hay. "Just checking boundaries," she chirped, smirking. "The HOA's interested in acquiring this land." I told her to get lost. Soon after, I found spray-painted markers on my fences and a for-sale sign on my property. I reported it to the sheriff, but they brushed it off. Lisa's HOA funded half the town's festivals. So, I installed trail cams and documented Tin Trang San Song, documenting every incident. When my mailbox was smashed and my gate cut open, I kept ranching, training horses, teaching kids to ride, and hosting community barbecues. The town loved me, except Lisa. She once berated a kid for picking my apples, threatening his mom with a lawsuit. That morning, Rusty's barking woke me. 3 squad cars and Lisa stood at my gate, waving a deed she claimed proved she'd sold my ranch. It looked official, stamps, highlights, but I knew it was fake. My lawyer hadn't mentioned any sale. "I sold it to my nephew," she screamed. "The HOA approved it." The police bought her story, and I snapped. "You're facing a lawsuit bigger than your ego, Lisa." As an officer stepped onto my porch, Jake's voice boomed. "Is there a problem?" 12 ranch hands backed me, ex-soldiers and lifelong cowboys. Lisa's jaw dropped. One-handed, the cops have a thick folder, the real deed, county certified, proving my family's 60-year ownership. Lisa lunged for it, tripped over Rusty's water bowl, and face planted in manure. The crowd gasped. Chaos erupted. Lisa, smeared in filth, screamed, "You trained that dog to attack me!" I smirked. "Those heels aren't ranch-friendly, Lisa." The officer demanded her deed. It was a mess. No parcel number, no notary, a misspelled buyer's name. Mine was legit. "This is fraud," the officer said, handing Lisa's paper back. "You're looking at charges." Lisa stammered, "It's a misunderstanding. This ranch is a dump." I stepped forward. "You don't get to steal my home, Lisa. This isn't your HOA sandbox." Neighbors gathered, exposing her lies. She'd bragged about turning my barn into a tennis court. I spoke up. "My aunt ran this ranch for decades, feeding the town, hosting kids. It's a legacy." Lisa whined, "She's dangerous." The officer shut her down. "She's not in your HOA. You filed a false report. Leave, or you're cited." Lisa stormed off, slamming her SUV door so hard it rebounded into her. The cops apologized, but trouble wasn't over. Lisa filed a zoning request to turn my ranch into an HOA recreational space. The county clerk, Miss Clara, flagged it as baseless. My land was agricultural, outside HOA reach. But a hearing was set. I rallied the town, posting flyers, "Save the ranch! No HOA takeover." At a packed town hall, I showed slides of my aunt's legacy. The crowd roared. Lisa skipped it. That night, Rusty woke me at 2 a.m. My barn was open, horses gone. Red spray paint on the wall read, "You don't belong here." My heart sank. This was war. Trail cams caught Lisa and a man stealing my horses at 1:49 a.m. I showed Sheriff Cole the footage. He issued a warrant but needed more evidence. By noon, he found my horses in a stable across county lines, paid for by a woman matching Lisa's description. A voicemail from a block number hissed, "You haven't won. My husband's on the zoning board. You're done." Her husband, Richard, was the board's new vice chair. Lisa was escalating. At the zoning hearing, I presented my deed, footage, and neighbor letters. Richard argued my ranch was unsafe, pushing rezoning for community benefit. Sheriff Cole interrupted, submitting evidence of Lisa's theft and fraud. Lisa fled, and the board denied her petition. Cheers erupted. But outside, a text from an unknown number read, "I don't need the law to finish you. Watch your back." Days later, my south fence was flattened, a sign claiming it for an HOA lake. A fake notice bore Richard's signature. I hired a federal property lawyer, Tom Hargrove, who filed conspiracy charges. Lisa and Richard were served papers, and HOA members turned on them, exposing their misuse of funds. Lisa showed up at my door unhinged. "You think you've won? This land should be mine." I shut the door. "You lost, Lisa." They resigned and fled town amid a federal probe. My ranch thrived, fences rebuilt, wildflowers blooming where her sign once stood. This fight wasn't just about land, it was about standing up to bullies who think lies and power can steal a legacy. Lisa's schemes sparked heated debates. Was she a mastermind or just desperate? Did I push too hard, or was my defiance justified? Share your thoughts below. Have you faced a Karen? And what about pranks and disputes? Harmless fun or crossing the line? Comment, like, and subscribe for more wild stories. Let's keep the conversation going.